The world of coaching.
The world of coaching.
World of coaching. According
to Russ Rose.
The way women's volleyball is now, the success that it has a lot to do with the great Penn State teams that he was at the helm. He didn't want to be good, he wanted to be great, and that's always been the standard.
Levy takes this lane, finds a seam in the defense, and hits it. Point Penn State.
Players started to want to come to Penn State because of Coach Rose and because of the success.
You have witnessed perfection from the Penn State volleyball team in 2008.
Coach Rose is the winningest Division I coach in NCAA history.
He said, if you listen to me, I'll make you great. And I was in. I bought in, and he did.
And there's Fawcett with another smash.
Our goal is to win Big Tens. Our goal is always to win a national championship. Like, this is the expectation.
He probably reminds you of John Wooden. He starts from the scratch.
You can do everything within your power and still not win. But if you don't work hard and do everything within your power, you probably don't deserve to win.
I think the first thing that I realized here was that it's intense.
Coach is definitely not the easiest person to play for. He expects perfection, and he expects everyone to be at the best all the time.
The preseason is one of the biggest things. You know, it's one of the hardest things I've been through. It's an honor that you've made it through.
You try and get them to understand that the window of time for them to achieve something maybe isn't as long as they think it is. The way to get them to do it is, if they don't, you find somebody else who will. I'm not naive that I'm not an acquired taste, but I don't care.
Things for him are very binary. It's, you either work really hard and you care and you give it your all or you don't.
I have to work because I'm around some people that don't understand the meaning of going hard all the time.
His appetite for work is like nothing I've ever been around. Maybe some of the great chefs of the world or the great writers of the world are at the same wavelength, but I haven't met anyone in the sport.
Coaches only control certain things. You need to work at those things, and if you don't work at those things and you just assume you're going to win, I think you're making a bad decision.
As someone who loves them, you want him to have more balance and you want him to take care, but he loves it so much, man. It's what he does and it's how he operates.
Everything we do is keeping score. And our warm-up might be like, oh yeah, let's get into it. And then as soon as it's like, we're keeping score, like you're going as hard as you can.
When you say we're keeping score, it means get your stuff together. Something significant that he's told us about is that your spot is never promised, and that's just in life in general. He is the most realist person I've ever met. Like, if you're shanking the ball, he's gonna tell you you're shanking the ball. And he'll, take me to the side and be like, what are you doing? Like, you're doing this, this, and this.
I've always been blunt. And I've lost a lot of great recruits because of how I am. My job is to make them better, not to tell them how wonderful they are, that there's a lot of other people that can do that for them, and that they should kind of have the ability to assess themselves.
He's old school because so many of the things that he's built has been built over time, and there's traditions within that program.
He's not into the new fads of coaching or this technique. They just play hard. It's old school.
Last year when we went to Omaha for the tournament, he had this huge box of just papers of scouting reports for any team we could have possibly played. One of our managers was in charge of it. He was like, it's so heavy. And we were laughing and thinking you could just have an iPad or a computer, but it's just how he is.
The way he runs his notebook is the exact same that it's been for him. And I think that allows him to be himself. He doesn't have to try to be something that he's not.
He's very superstitious. He does a little pen flip. If it drops, woof, could be weird.
If his practice book falls, we never look at it. You have to look away when you pick it up and put it back on the stool.
I had to put on my shoe and my knee pad and sock a certain way, and if I didn't, I had to retake everything off. And then I remember sitting there, I was like, I'm losing my mind. And I know he has to be losing his mind a little bit with how extreme he is, but it's worked.
If he can get 1% advantage in some way, even if it's in a spiritual realm, he'll find it.
Well, maybe next year I'll change, you know? I don't think so.